All right, guys, we are live at the link. We had a little camera trouble to start, so we're gonna break right now, and we're gonna start a little bit differently. And then I don't know what that means for the rest of the show. We're gonna figure it out because you got Daniel Jones. You'll hear about it all in a minute. We're at the stadium. It's all very cool. I'm seeing all of the fun messages coming from you guys. I'm so grateful. All right, here we go. This is the comment. Says Eric, let's do this. Got to get some predictions going too. I need to look at the week 2 schedule. I feel like I should have it memorized, and I do not. I don't know why. Probably because of all the traveling lately. But we got some great games, guys. Ooh, Dolphins, Patriots. Two are going to go 5-0 and be tied with Peyton Manning for the most wins up against Bill Belichick since like 2000. That's unbelievable. Bears, Bucs. Who do I got? I'll let you guys know. We won our parlay last night, guys. That was really fun. So we're going to get into all the fun things here in a minute. But how much time do we have to the start of the show? Okay. Yeah, the camera was, in fact, not linked up. When I tell you guys, we've been sitting here for 20 minutes, everything's fine. And then literally at zeros, the camera went away. Like the ghost of Kirk Cousins is in this building right now. Kay's Coffee Shop. Yeah, here it is, guys. My Dunkin'. Driver was nice enough to go get it because Cody didn't say. Cody got munchkins for himself, though, on the way in. Didn't think, Jason Hartilius would never. Large coffee, black. My voice is gone. That's what happened. Great to see you. I was at the game last night. I had so much fun, you guys. I love being in stadiums. The Eagles are amazing. We got 30 seconds, guys, until the show starts on FanDuel TV. We're just doing it differently today, but it's all okay. Go Birds, go Duncan, go Link. All right, let's do this. 20 seconds. Thank you guys for the questions, for the love. Of course, the day that I tweet the link, we don't start the show on time. 9 seconds. All right, FanDuel TV, we are live. YouTube, we are live at Up and Adam Show. I'm appreciating all of the comments. A lot of Fly Eagles Fly. Hey, Vikings fans, where are you? Where are you in all this today? I've got my large black coffee from Dunkin'. I've got Daniel Jones on the show. I shouldn't say that too loud, right? Because we're at the link in Philadelphia. Daniel Jones is on the show. And Deshaun Jackson joining the program live from Philadelphia, live from the link where I may or may not have slept last night. Now. I got people continuing the Roman Empire poll. We went viral on TikTok for the first time ever yesterday because of that. All very, very fun. We went to Wawa yesterday. We came to Philadelphia yesterday, went to the game, and I asked, hey, can I go to the game, FanDuel? Can we do something fun for some fans? And we did. We upgraded seats. We gave passes to the FanDuel VIP lounge at the link. There was so much food. There's so much booze behind me, as you can see. It was so fun. And Hamilton, yes, you can tell from my voice, I was a bit of a boozy Susie here last night at the old link.
Wait, you went to Wawa again, too? Does that mean you had your second career sandwich?
I did not, because I walked into the Wawa and every kiosk was closed and shut down and out of order. And I will tell control room, I do not have Hamilton on screen. I only see myself. So if we need to fix that for Daniel Jones and Deshaun Jackson coming on the show, I would love that. If we can have them or program fed into the monitor, that would be amazing. But we are loving the comments. We're having a great time. Let me tell you this. So we get to the stadium last night. So fun. Fans were actually pretty okay, pretty like well-mannered. I didn't see that much. We found these two women from Philadelphia celebrating a birthday. We upgraded their seats. It was so fun, and we did it on the big screen. The Eagles super welcoming and amazing. Let us do the show here this morning in the VIP lounge. So that's great. And I get to finally we get some seats. So I don't know if we like traded seats with them or we had some club seats. And so we walk in and we go. It's me and Haley, and we go and we sit down. And there's a man, a big man, and it's on my Instagram story. Go check it out. And he is like fully asleep. I'm not kidding. Fully just passed out with his row of buddies, like They've been drinking since they got to the lot at 5:30 in the morning. They took the day off work. They took a long weekend. They're unbelievable and so fun. So I had to wake this dude up and say, if you throw up on me, I'm hurling you into the offensive line, into the D line. But we got it done. What kind of stood out from you? I know that your Hammer Time yesterday talked a lot about what this team is going to be able to. These teams are going to be able to do. What do you got?
Yeah, and we saw the Vikings passing attack look explosive, but once again, it was the turnovers that stood out, and that was my biggest concern. Is while we saw the explosive plays in Week 1 from the Vikings offense, we saw a lot of sloppiness, a lot of turnovers. Both of those things continued. Big game from Jefferson, big game from Hawkinson, but not enough to get the win because the Eagles made more plays on the other side. It wasn't the huge numbers from Hurts that, I think people were expecting to see in this game against that defense, but that Eagles run game is really, really impressive. The offensive line really went to work last night, and big win for the Eagles to get to 2-0.
It's super interesting that, it's so star-studded on both sides, and it is DeAndre Swift that was the star of the show. And I can't wait, and I'm sure you can't either. We got Deshaun Jackson on the program. He's the perfect person to talk to about even just Justin Jefferson on the one side, of course, what happened on the 1-yard line. That's something Deshaun Jackson, unfortunately, knows well and has been a part of a lot of receivers, a lot of weapons have. And he's going to be here to sort of break down that side, what the Vikings can do from here. There's so much star-studded talent on that offense. But then, with the A.J. Brown thing on the sideline, which, by that time I was like, I don't know what's going on, but it's a thing, and how you manage that and what it looked like. And you had Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, and he obviously wanted the ball a little more. Are we overblowing it? Should it be discussed? How do you manage that? I can't wait to talk to him. But Hammer, you set me up perfectly because you're an amazing partner, and you know that I want to talk about DeAndre Swift. He was the star, okay? He had 1 carry in the season opener, okay? But with Kenneth Gainwell out last night, this dude, the newbie, just went to work. If you take a look here, he sliced through the Vikings defense, and it wasn't once or twice or big. It was play after play after play, and there was a lot of Eagles first down. So no offense to Kenneth Gainwell at all, but I feel like this is, what we kind of hope to see when the Eagles swung the bill, the Eagles, and made the draft night trade. We loved it, right? He had 175 yards on the ground. That's a career high. 6.3 yards per carry is nothing to sneeze at. It's incredible. And it's all the same with Lane Johnson and the OGs that are holding it together. Like this offensive line, one of the best in the game. And they ran it 48 times. A thing of beauty on a perfect night in Philadelphia under the bright lights of Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. 259 yards, 3 touchdowns. And I feel like, a run-heavy approach did potentially cause a little brouhaha, a little drama or some feelings hurt elsewhere with A.J. Brown, but it was a nice win. And I feel like they needed it and it didn't start perfectly either, but, sloppy conditioned, but sloppy week 1 in general out of this offense. So after it carried over into the first quarter, it sort of went away, and you love to see it. They are 2-0. There's nothing to really be worried about this team as they try to slice and dice their way, a la DeAndre Swift, to the Super Bowl and the NFC. All right, they lost 4 fumbles on the night. That's sort of weird, right? So let's get into that, because the Vikings is sort of the other takeaway on this. And this is truly the most tortured fan base of all time. I'm talking any sport. I'm talking anything. They always somehow mess it up. And, I mean, if this one doesn't happen, you're looking at the whole game doesn't get completely flipped, right? They had a 14-10 lead at half. Instead, they go into the locker room down 13-7, 10-point swing in a game, guys. They lost by 6 points. That's crazy. And it all comes after, a week 1 loss that sort of fell down and happened the same way, which is crazy. So before reporters could even ask him anything, guys, Coach Kevin O'Connell, he came out and he addressed the turnover issue. Take a look.
Just across the board, very much similar to last week, which turning the football over, coming to this place, NFC champions from a year ago at their place in their home opener, and you lose the turnover battle 4-1, with 3 of them being fumbles, or all 4 of them being fumbles. 7-1 in turnovers lost in 2 games, and we've lost by a combined 9 points to 2 playoff teams from a year ago.
I'd like to put this in perspective for a minute here. Hamilton whipped up this full screen. Take a look at this. The Vikings guys lost 6 fumbles through 2 weeks. And, you know, that's the most we've seen if you're looking at it. This is a crazy full screen, you guys. That's the most we've seen in the last 20 years. They're not just coughing up the ball. They're doing it historically. And by the way, none of the other teams on this list were able to rally back and even make the playoffs. So I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. With this NFC North, the way that the Lions looked in week 1, the way Jordan Love and these Packers looked in week 1, falling to 0-2 is a really serious problem. Like, historically bad turnovers, okay? 6 lost through 2 weeks, the most we've seen in the last 20 years. Those teams do not pull it together and make the playoffs. So I do want to say it hasn't all been bad. Sure, turnovers have been an issue, but the passing game does look really nice, right? Almost unstoppable, if not for their own failures. Cousin went off for 364 yards and 4 touchdowns, kind of like what our boy Matt Hamilton was saying. And they did something really special with the passing attack. I mean, I don't know if it's going to mean anything down the stretch or in the long haul if they are just, you know, losing games and fumbling and turning it over. But I'd rather have turnover issues and look as explosive as they look in this league, at least early, than not be able to move the ball at all, because you can fix turnovers and hopefully they can just like buck the trend and figure it out. Okay, it's 11:11 here exactly on the East Coast, so everybody make a wish. My wish is for Daniel Jones to give me a movie to watch. And I want to say this, with interviewing Daniel Jones, and he couldn't do it on Tuesday Live, which is what we wanted him to do, and there was a bit of a scheduling issue. Like, he came on the show, and we did an interview with him yesterday right when I got to Philly. So I got my Wawa, I got my Diet Dr. Pepper, I got a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. I ran into my hotel room, which wasn't even ready, basically. Like, it was ready the second I got there, ran upstairs, turned the Zoom on, and Daniel Jones sat down with me. And I give him a lot of credit because he's having to face the music on a 40-zip situation while it's already Thursday night, and he wants to look forward to his bout with Arizona. They're not thinking about the past. They've been preparing all week. So I got this vibe out of him of resiliency. I got, I don't know, just like a very focused quarterback who also is giving me that early career Eli thing where he is not going to take the bait from me. He is not going to put it on anybody else. And I think Dable has a lot to do with that as well. Are we going to take a break or should we just roll to that interview now, guys? What do we think? As I'm looking at the comments. Okay. So we're going to actually take a break right here. The Vikings need a running back so bad, Ernie says. Tyler says, I can't imagine losing a significant chunk of your O-line to injuries. Yeah, that's not funny. That's not good at all. Makeshift O-line. I know, but they're like rebuilding, retooling on the fly. I don't know what to make of them. I do think the more, I mean, this is Kirk Cousins' last year as a Viking, in my opinion. And on that mic drop moment, I am going to send it to break, and when we get back, I'm going to show you guys my chat with Daniel Jones right after. So keep it going. I'll hit the chat up too, guys. Appreciate you. And we'll be back from the link. Deshaun Jackson is on the way, guys. Hit me up with comments. All right, all week long, people have been texting me. People are YouTube chat. I'm seeing it on the comments. Where is Daniel Jones? He's supposed to be on your show every week. We had to change it because of a bit of a scheduling thing. We, of course, had the tough news with Aaron Rodgers, so I talked to him about that. A little bit about last week, of course, how he's feeling going into a Week 2 matchup up against the Cardinals. We also had some fun. And, of course, I started with the TikTok trend that everyone is talking about.
New York, New York.
Daniel Jones makes something happen.
Races in, touchdown Giants.
Jones with a perfect strike.
And let the party begin at MetLife Stadium.
I want to start here. This has been viral on TikTok, and it's my current obsession. It's not about football. How often, Daniel Jones, do you think about the Roman Empire?
How often do I think about the Roman Empire?
Yeah. Gladiator.
I don't know. Once a month, maybe.
Do you actually, or are you lying?
I mean, Rome, maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe once or twice a month.
I'm learning that dudes think about the Roman Empire and like 300 and Gladiator and all this stuff like all of the time. And I think it's crazy, like literally every guy. And it's something I didn't know. So I just figured I'd ask you. I told Twitter that I was going to ask you. Listen, Gronk was on my show this week and he's on every week. And he came out real hard about tight ends. He was like, no tight end even got like 50 yards. Nothing happened. I want to see Darren Waller do that this week. I know he's banged up a little bit. Can we get him the ball a little more this week, do you think?
We're always trying to get him the ball and help him, get out there and make plays. He's a big time player for us, and got to find him and got to give him the ball. But a lot of faith and confidence in him, and we're definitely trying to give him the ball.
He had his birthday this week. Did you get him anything? Big 31 on Wednesday.
I didn't get him a present yet. I wished him a happy birthday, but I didn't get a present yet. What should I get him?
I don't know. Dable doesn't like roll in a cake or anything? Come on, Dable.
No cake. No cake this year.
Nothing. What's Dable been like this week? A tough one, I know.
He's been good. I mean, everyone's locked in and focused on what's ahead of us and this new opportunity, and that's kind of been Dave's attitude. He's been on it. He's been pushing us and making sure we're all ready to go. But I think the guys have responded well. We've had a good week of practice so far.
I love that. We had Taylor Lewan on the show on Monday, and he had the highest praise for your coach and just how he handled the post-game press conference. I know you guys are looking ahead to Arizona this week, but, just how Taylor was saying how he sort of absorbed the blame and put most of it on his shoulders and all of that. Like, how far does something like that go in the locker room?
I think it goes, it goes a long way. Obviously, we all feel responsible for our part, and we all have to do a better job. There's a lot of things we need to clean up, going forward, and we're looking to do that. But I think Dave's attitude immediately after the game, his attitude this week, people obviously, you look to that as, in your head coach, people are looking to that, and he set the example for what, how we need to respond this week.
Were you surprised there was a lot of talk about why you stayed in the game so long?
I mean, I really didn't think anything of it, and then I got some questions about it after the game, but it's not really something I thought about a lot. I was, trying to make something happen and get something positive, get some points, move the ball. Certainly understood that.
And that's what Eli said. Your boy Eli, our boy Eli, he was saying, I don't know if you went back and watched it, I bet you didn't, but he on the Manning cast, he was like chalking it up big time to your competitive nature, not in the Manning cast, but the Manning cast about that game, about you wanting to, make a positive moment and do what you're saying. Was it your choice to stay in the game?
No, it wasn't a conversation really. It was just continue going how we were. So, like I said, I wasn't expecting anything different or anything to change, and we were just kept going.
And the next night, so I'm in New York, and like the next night I'm at the game, and this Aaron Rodgers thing happens, which is like obviously the news of the week, and it was so insane. And you expressed last time I talked to you that he was a guy that you sort of look up to as a younger quarterback. When you saw that happen, what were you thinking?
Yeah, that was a tough scene. Just seeing him go down, and then how he kind of stood up and then sat back down. You realize that he knew it was something serious right off the bat, and then we didn't know what it was at first, so was hoping for the best, and just tough, tough feel for him, feel for their team, feel for just that whole situation, and tough to see someone go down like that. But excited for Zach, and he stepped in, they got the win, and look forward to watching this year.
Now, since you guys are obviously rivals, kind of, but then like also like neighbors and roommates in a weird way, do you hit them up? Do you hit Do you DM in Aaron Rodgers and say, I'm sorry, man, with like the millions of people who are hitting him up with those sort of sentiments?
I haven't yet. Certainly, thinking about him and wishing him well. Maybe I'll run into him or reach out to him at some point. But hope he recovers well.
Or maybe we can like write a note and like leave it. I'm imagining you guys have like the same stuff and you can like leave him a note or something somewhere. That's not the case though, huh?
No, I don't know. I'm sure he's getting thousands and thousands of texts and well wishes, but certainly hoping for the best for him.
Are you friendly with Zach Wilson at all?
I know Zach a little bit, just kind of running into him at different things here and there around New York. And I've enjoyed getting to know him and definitely pulled for him.
What was the most surprising thing after week one, you think, that just after, obviously you're, in your game very much, but you saw sort of how everything shook out? I feel like everyone just sort of overreacts to week one. So it kind of doesn't matter.
I mean, it's I don't know what was most surprising. Obviously, the Aaron Rodgers news was the biggest deal across the league, and seeing that. But yeah, a lot happens in week one, and there's a lot of it's the first time you get out there and play with your guys. So there was a lot of different situations around the league, and just kind of focusing on us, and what we're doing, and obviously we have a lot to clean up and correct.
So with that, like looking at Arizona, what has been the vibe? I mean, I imagine you as a leader, and you are that franchise, like you're the dude. Like, how do you get it right and build confidence with the O-line? Because that's sort of been the story of the team, right? So you got this great opportunity, like week one's in the rearview mirror. What has been like the specific thing that you can do to sort of build confidence, and vice versa, really, with that line?
I think just, continuing to talk to everybody. It's a group, it's a whole, it's a unit as an offense, and we didn't play well enough across the board, starting with me. So, it's first your job to correct what you're doing and the things you need to do well. And then, you do that, and that helps everybody play well together. So, that's where we're focused. And as a leader and as, the quarterback, it's your job to communicate with guys, get on the same page. You're watching film together, you're studying, you're going through your calls and your reads and certain looks, and making sure everyone's ready and locked in, ready to go. And most of that happens on the practice field, getting reps, seeing it, doing it live, fast at game speed, and building confidence that way. So I think guys have responded well. We've had a good week of practice.
Can't wait to see what you guys do in week 2 and beyond. Now, you're so focused on football, you don't even know that this Roman Empire thing is trending all over TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok.
You're not? Okay, well, I thought we'd chat. I mean, I only am because I figured you are, so I was trying to find something to relate to you with. But listen, there's other stuff going on that we just want to get to know you a little bit. We're going to call it jonesing for the news. We pulled some storylines to fill you in on, because I know that you're not like on TikTok or doing anything. There was a story out of Mexico yesterday, Daniel, and there were like officials who were presented 2 boxes with mummies from Peru. And these this is a real story. The boxes are labeled as non-human beings that are not part of our terrestrial evolution. So everyone wants to know, are you a believer in aliens?
I'm a believer in aliens. I don't know. I mean, I think there's a good chance. I think there's a good chance there's
okay, no, we're stopping this. Time out. You can give me, I'm throwing a flag. You can give me all the BS quarterback answers about O-line. You got to answer about something. So you want to talk about?
I was getting to my answer. I was getting to my answer. Give me a chance.
Okay. Are you in? Or are you out?
I think there's a good chance that there's life somewhere else in the universe. Yeah.
A good chance, and maybe it's Darren Waller and Travis Kelce, 2 of the best tight ends to ever do it, which brings us to Kelce, who's rumored to be dating Taylor Swift. Okay, they're quietly hanging out. What do you think of the potential couple?
Well, I don't know Travis Kelce, but I mean, that's awesome. I like Taylor Swift's got some good music, so it's a good, I don't know, y'all call that a power couple or a celebrity power couple or something like that?
Sure. Now, had you heard that news or no?
I had heard that, yeah.
You had, so that got to you.
Yeah.
Okay, did you watch the VMAs?
I did not watch the VMAs.
Okay, so the VMAs, Taylor Swift got an award, NSYNC was there. And she was freaking out because it was NSYNC, and they announced that they're recording a first new song in 2 decades. How do you feel about NSYNC coming back?
I'm excited. I'm excited about NSYNC. What are the big NSYNC songs again?
Bye Bye Bye.
Backstreet Boys. Bye Bye Bye. Okay, yeah.
That one?
Yeah. That's like an early 2000s thing.
I think so. Stop trying to age me, Daniel. Stop trying to, it's an early 2000 thing.
I remember it. I was
8 years
alive
old.
for that.
I was sad that I didn't see you. Did you go to the US Open and just hide and like nobody saw you, or did you not go?
I went to the US Open, yeah.
And nobody saw, excuse me? Where were those pictures?
I don't know. I didn't post any pictures.
Did you just swoop into things low key all of the time? Like you're not, like, seriously?
Yeah, I feel like throwing a hat. I'm pretty average looking guy.
No, well, that's okay. Justin Timberlake, John Hamm, Matthew McConaughey, Timothy Chalamet, Kylie Jenner, they're all there. Keith Urban, Nicole Kidman. Where were you sitting? Were you like in a box with celebs, or were you just like in the crowd being awesome?
I was in a box right behind the court. I saw the Shelton Paul match, and then Coco Gauff and Wozniacki maybe.
Okay, I can't believe that you just roll in and people don't even bother you. That's like, you're like that level of celebrity. Like that's the coolest way to go. You don't even need a box or anything to hang out with, and I love that. Okay, here's how I'm going to leave this. I have really high vibes about the Giants this year, and I think thinking positive a big deal. And I also think, like, I did a bunch of math on the show this week that 0-1 teams actually do really well. So you also, I'm sure, have heard about 2007, right? How the Super Bowl winning Giants gave up 45 in a week 1 loss to Dallas, yes?
Yep.
Championship 2011 team got demolished by Rex Grossman in Washington right out the gates. You've heard this, yes?
I didn't know about 2011. But...
Yeah, sexy Rexy. He did not do very well. All I'm saying, Giants fans, is that it's happened before. We've seen how quickly things can turn around. And in Daniel Jones, we trust. So on that note, unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
I think that covers it. Aliens, Roman Empire, a little bit of football. We've covered it.
Aliens, give me a movie. Give me one of your favorite movies that I will watch for next time that I talk to you. I'm not a movie gal. Are you a movie guy?
Not really, but Kicking and Screaming. You know Kicking and Screaming?
Oh, what is that?
The Will Ferrell movie when he's the coach for his kids' soccer team.
We're out on Will. Okay, I will watch that, and I'm going to give you a movie review report on that. Kicking and Screaming. I did not think you would go Will Ferrell. So we will talk to you next week. Go kick ass. Just go let it rip, okay?
All right. Thanks, Kay. Appreciate it.
Kicking and Screaming. Family man Phil Weston, a lifelong victim of his father's competitive nature, takes on the coaching duties of a kid's soccer team and soon finds that he's also taking on his father's dysfunctional way of relating. Kicking and Screaming. Funnily enough, also the name of my autobiography and my memoir, Kicking and Screaming by Kay Adams. I loved the interview with him. I like when he smiles. So I'm trying to get him to smile or like learn something about him. He doesn't watch movies on TikTok. He just rolls into the US Open, like where there's cameras everywhere and like justjared.com and people.com, and everyone's just like foaming at the mouth at any celebrity that walks in there, and he just like puts a hat on and rolls in and nobody even bothers him. Like that about that Daniel Jones. They got a big game, guys, this week, and I'm loving the comments, but I just wanted to say, tough one. You couldn't ask for a better matchup than Arizona week 2. Sorry, they're just not a very good team. They're not in a good place. And it's sort of a dream matchup unless you lose. And that would be a nightmare scenario where everyone will catastrophize everything you do for a very long time, even if you start pulling in wins. You cannot lose to Arizona. And a fun little fact about that game, and we're going to preview some here in a little bit with Hamilton. Isaiah Simmons, right? It's a nice revenge game for Isaiah Simmons going up against Arizona. Only played in like a handful of action last week to kick off the season, but Wink wanting to get him involved more. You think Wink's not going to let his guy fly around out there against his old team? He for sure is. So I think Isaiah Simmons is going to be actually a big part of why they do turn it around early in action against Arizona. Okay, we're going to take a short break. break here because we've got Deshaun Jackson on the show. I've got some daily fantasy values for you. I've got my K-makers. I was 2 of 3 last week. Dallas Goedert. Ugh. But we'll get back to that after this. We are looking at the chat live now. Okay. Hamilton, how do you want to break up these games? How do you want to break up these games? Baltimore, Cincy. You want to handle Baltimore?
I can talk Baltimore side. The other game, you can talk Chiefs side, talk Jets side, and talk Washington side. Like the notes I have in there are, I'll talk the other side.
Some goodies. I got 2 or 3 right. Dallas Goedert couldn't score a touchdown. It was sloppy conditions. It was weird. But here's this week's dudes that will score anytime touchdowns. Josh Jacobs at the Bills. Buffalo D struggled against the run guys Monday night. So I think we see the leading rusher from last year in front of the show capitalize and get one in. Keenan Allen will score a touchdown against the Titans. They're in Tennessee. Tennessee gave up the 5th most passing yards in the league last week and had the 31st ranked pass defense in the NFL all last season. So Chargers move the ball. Keenan get a score. And then Calvin Ridley, 6th highest touchdown rate of any receiver in the league since he was drafted back in 2018. He scored last week. He's going to make it happen again. And what I do think will be a high-scoring affair with Kansas City. Guys, there you have it, your K-makers. We've got Deshaun Jackson hopefully logging in and joining the show. We're trying to track him down, and we're excited. Yeah, we can come on cam, though, before. But okay, let's just do this instead. The NFL season, Smirnoff is helping fans get ready for game day with a lineup of delicious signature football-themed cocktails. We love Smirnoff. We're big fans, and I have a really nice partnership with them, and they brought it to FanDuel, which I really appreciate. And they're giving fans more ways to win with the Smirnoff number 21 Sunday primetime cocktail pick'em. It's a lot, but it's every single week now through the Super Bowl. Go to FanDuel.com/Smirnoff. You get to answer 7 questions. They're cool and like cocktail themed, which I love, and they're about the Sunday night matchup for a free shot at $10K in prizes. So Hammy is here to break some of these down, and they gave us and pitched a completion Cosmo question of the week. Yesterday, I went to the game here, Thursday Night Football, and the person I was with was drinking Smirnoff 21 light pink Cosmos. And I was like, what is that? And they were delicious. Let me just say, they were absolutely delicious. So that comes courtesy of this. And here's the question, Hamilton. And you start here, and we'll break down some games. Which quarterback will complete more passes on Sunday night, Tua or Mac?
That's a tough one, and it's tougher than you might think, because Mac actually completed 7 more passes than Tua last week, even though Tua had that 466-yard game. I think it'll be a little bit closer than you might guess on the face of it, but I do think Tua is going to get it done. I think with this Mike McDaniel offense, we're seeing him just getting more and more comfortable, and I think we see him end up with more completions on the day than Mac.
And I feel like the Pats are going to lean on the run game because if anything we saw, like obviously the Chargers and their, inability to get it done, allowing what? I mean, the Chargers ran for 233 on 6 yards per carry against the Dolphins last week. So the Dolphins, I think, are going to throw the ball. I'm going to take Tua. I'm going to take Tua here. I think I'm going to take Tua here. Do you want to get into some other games?
Sure. Can we have some completion Cosmos first, or we're just going to go right to it?
Listen, they were like, should we take the liquor away back there? I'm like, you got that Smirnoff 21. Like, let's bring it here. We are loving that stuff. We're so happy to have them be part of our show with the Smirnoff number 21 Sunday primetime cocktail pick'em. But let's get into Baltimore, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, obviously, we got the haircut going on, Hamilton. We got, for the Joe Burrow side, he's paid. He's saying, like, we're figuring it out about his injury, which we don't love. But with this side of it, I'm sort of looking at Mark Andrews. He didn't play last week. He had the quad injury. Gronk came on our show and pulverized the entire he gave us a tight end talk. Like people do TED Talks. He did a tight end talk and said, like, get your ish together at the tight end spot. He's limited in practice still, so I'm sort of keeping my eye on that. Marcus Williams, Tyler Linderbaum, Ronnie Stanley, Marlon Humphrey. Guys, they haven't practiced yet this week. Super terrifying. So Bengals, they got to find a way to rebound. They cannot start over with 2 AFC North losses, mind you. And I will say the Bengals have won 4 of their last 5 against the Ravens. So I, of course, like the Bengals on this Sunday.
Yeah, and it's going to be a big test for the Ravens with all those injuries that you mentioned. Obviously, the guy that we know is not going to be playing, J.K. Dobbins, who's out for the year. Even with this new Todd Monken offense and the upgraded passing game, the run game is still going to be crucial to what the Ravens do. So are Justice Hill and Gus Edwards going to be enough to keep this running game where it needs to be and to open some things up downfield for Lamar? That's what I'm going to be looking at. But it's a huge opportunity for the Ravens to move to 2-0 and put the Bengals in an 0-2 hole. It's a golden opportunity for the Ravens to take a big jump forward and a step towards, being looked at, I think, as a contender in the AFC overall.
I will say, if you are playing against Jamar Chase this week, like RIP. It's not even about wins or losses, but Jamar Chase shines in these games, as you know, and you're telling me that Marlon Humphrey and Marcus have not practiced this week? Come on.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think Jamar Chase is going to be the wide receiver 1. He's going to top everybody this week. No offense. All right, let's talk Kansas City, Jacksonville. I know you'll take the Jag side of this one, so I might as well give you my thoughts on KC. KC beat the Jags. How many times last year, Hamilton?
Twice.
They beat them twice last year. Yeah, that's including the divisional round game. So Travis Kelce is practicing. It's another tight end talk sort of situation. I don't know why I'm like a Gronk's, Robin to his Batman on this, but it's very interesting. Like there's 800 articles about Taylor Swift, so it's very hard to find information on Travis Kelce's wellness, his well-being, his availability, his rehab, how it's going for him. So. It's trending that way. I'm sure he's had the extra time to sort of heal up. If Kelce's out there, I feel like we're going to get a better picture, and hopefully we do get Deshaun Jackson on the show, and he can talk about this because the Kadarius Toney thing is such an interesting issue that the Chiefs are in. If they struggle with Kelce, I will be worried, more worried. If he's back out there, hopefully we see what this receiving core and this offense really look like. And then there's the Bieniemy factor, which is going to have to be talked about at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. If this thing continues to struggle, that definitely has to be brought up. And yeah, you're right. If Kelce's out there and this thing still struggles, then there's going to be some major questions, because his presence alone is just going to open things up for all these other receivers. But on the Jaguar side, this is just such a huge, again, I talked about the opportunity for the Ravens. This is a huge opportunity for Trevor Lawrence, because, you know, there are people out there that think he's going to vault himself into the MVP conversation this year. And this is the game that's going to determine that, I think. I know it's only week 2, but if he can go out there and outduel Patrick Mahomes, that's going to be a pretty big statement. And I think we're seeing a big time evolution to his game this year already. You just look at week 1, there were 4 or 5 throws into some really tight windows that a lot of quarterbacks in this league are not making. You're just seeing the confidence, the comfort level in this Doug Peterson system in year 2, and just having Calvin Ridley out there, just a game-breaking wide receiver. It just makes such a huge difference. And I'm interested to see what this Jaguars offense can do, you know, battling it out with KC and that explosive Mahomes attack on the other side.
Okay, let's move on to Jets Cowboys. And of course, you guys, I'm checking out the chat here. So if you want in, let's see what's going on with Deshaun Jackson. Can I get an update from the control room? Are we trying to get him and he can't log in? He has bailed. Is there a reason? He's at the dentist. You guys, Deshaun Jackson's taking a long time at the dentist. Can we please wish him a speedy recovery on Twitter? Let's wish him all the best. We love Deshaun Jackson. Would have loved to have had him. But and speaking of speedy recoveries, let's hit up this Jets-Cowboys game. And before we get to the Zach Wilson of it all, which I could literally end the show with, I could talk about that for an hour. Like, Aaron did post, I don't know if we have it, but he posted the photo of his Instagram story, thanking the doctors, saying that his surgery went well, and all of that. The 39-year-old Hall of Fame quarterback, yeah, he wanted to thank everybody for starting him on the road to recovery. And there's a lot of people reporting on this, and let me just say, we really do, we love you, Aaron Rodgers. We do. And the NFL game is a better place when you're a part of it and when you've been a part of it for as long as I've loved the game. And I think when I meet people in this game that have been through adversity and have missed time and have had heartbreak, I love those guests and hearing their stories and rooting for them all the more. So there's being the excellent player and the killer that you are out there, but come back for us. Come back for you, of course, and all you're doing, but be that inspiration. And there's so much good vibes and so much goodwill and so much good energy that I just thought everyone's reporting on this, but are we really wishing him well? Are we really stopping to be let's go. What do you need from us? How can we rally? This is someone who's very connected to the metaphysical world and energy and magnetism and all of that. So from us to you, we are wishing you, Aaron Rodgers, the best possible recovery and be the guy that could survive in the Roman Empire, as the entire chat is saying. We love you, Aaron. Speedy recovery to you. And let us know if you need anything, of course. And when it gets to this game, I mean, could Zach Wilson have a better opportunity, or could he be thrown into a more ridiculous situation with the foreshadowing of Tom Brady saying, this dude beat the blank out of me all of the time. And now 2 weeks later, of course, Zach Wilson, after Daniel Jones gets beat up by him, it's his turn to sort of face the music on this. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what I expect. I love Salah's fire and saying, don't write our obituary yet, do that. I mean, he had to come in against the Bills, Zach Wilson did. They boasted the number 2 defense last year. Of course, they didn't have Von Miller out there. But is there a better defense in the National Football League now? I guess San Francisco. Is there a better defense than the Cowboys? I don't know. They look pretty good. So things are going to go all sorts of wrong for the Jets, I think, in this game, Hammy.
Yeah, they're gonna have moments where they're really tested, and I think that's where you look to your quarterback, to a young quarterback like Zach Wilson. How is he going to respond? Because we saw it. You were there. You saw, things go wrong against the Bills. You saw the interception. You saw some of the things kind of, that got kind of messy in that game. But he kept bouncing back. He was resilient, and he played his best football at the end of that game. He got stronger and stronger as the game went on, and that's not what we saw from him last year. I was at that Jaguars game on Thursday Night Football where things just completely snowballed, and he had to get benched for Chris Streveler. So I think he looks like a totally different quarterback right now than he did last year when things weren't going his way. But again, going against a defense like this, you're going to have moments where things are not going to go your way. How are you going to respond? And I think that's going to tell us a lot about what this Jets team can be this season.
Even week 2, come on, they're going to get pulverized by the Cowboys. That's going to tell you whether or not you think they're a playoff team.
I don't think they're going to get pulverized. The Jets defense, you're saying the Cowboys defense might be, I think the Jets defense might be the best defense in the league. So Dak is going to have his work cut out for him as well. So I don't think this team is going to lay down and die. They're going to have some rough moments. There's going to be ups and downs throughout the season as well. But I think, again, even if it's a loss, just the way they handle things going badly is going to tell us how this season's going to go.
What's Deshaun Jackson's Twitter handle? I hate that you can't find anybody's Twitter handle anymore. Elon. What's Deshaun Jackson's? I think we should tweet him and say, from the chair. Like what, you can't click a Zoom link from the chair? I've done full meetings. I've done interviews from, you know, nobody knows the dentist office more than me. Deshaun Jackson 10. All right, Deshaun. Yeah. Oh, that's him, Deshaun Jackson 10? Guys, let's all
if he has the
hit
same
him up
dentist
and just...
As Dwight Schrute, apprentice to the dentist.
Oh, I don't know about that. I just feel like that is the most ghostiest thing to possibly do to someone, is to be like, oh, I'm at the dentist for too long. Like, come on. Okay, Bailey's saying that. What do we say? Hey, Deshaun. This isn't just an activity for me, guys. This is you guys out there, too. I see you all on this chat, just hanging out. Come on. Hey, Deshaun Jackson, we can send you a Zoom link. A Zoom link from the dentist chair. Send. we'll see what happens. I don't know why I keep saying pulverized Hamilton. That's just sort of in my head for some reason. But, wow. God, my life these past couple of weeks. Hamilton. All right, let's do, what other game is interesting? I'm looking at the schedule. When I say stuff like that, I'm not really asking you, Goldfarb. I'm just musing. I'm just hanging out. But thank you. And we will go to the game that Goldfarb so brilliantly suggested in my ear, and that is Washington and Denver, because y'all know I love Sam Howell. Can he move this team to 2-0? How exciting would that be for this fan base, right? We were at training camp. Everyone's losing their minds for them to get a week 1 win. They didn't even need a week 1 win. I don't know what would even make them happy, but this is a crazy stat that you teed up for me, and I love you for that before the show. If he throws another touchdown and he runs one in, actually, no, I think I sent this to you. Never mind. I'm giving you unnecessary credit. I sent this to you, and it is that he will be the first player in NFL history to do that in each of his first career starts. If he throws one in and runs one in, I don't see why he can't. That's why he's my sneaky sleeper as far as fantasy quarterbacks go, and I shouldn't be talking about this loud in this building. I get it, but this Broncos defense, you know, it is a different animal. You know, he made a few mistakes in week 1, the interception. There was a fumble that was not pretty at all, and that was, of course, run back for a score, which nobody likes to see if you're wearing a Washington jersey. But he played well overall, and, you know, I don't know, Sean Payton and penalties has to be one of the bigger surprises to me carrying over from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah, and also, the Broncos had a few issues they're going to need to work on. The kicking game is a big one, too. They had 2 missed kicks and lost by a point. Never like to see that. But I think, you know, this is going to be a huge test for Russell Wilson up against, again, we talk about teams that are in the running for number 1 defense. This Washington defense, like you talked about a few weeks ago, is going to be in that conversation, too. With that pass rush that they have, the secondary is much improved. I think Arizona kind of set a little bit of a blueprint for how you can have a little bit of success. They moved Josh Dobbs around a lot. They moved him out of the pocket. I think we're going to see that from Sean Payton and Russell Wilson a lot, just kind of trying to use Russell's mobility to their advantage. But this is a big test because Russell showed a lot of signs of growth from what we saw last season in this Broncos offense last week, but still it was only 16 points on the board. They're going to have to take another step forward really quickly if they're going to turn this thing around and you know, get into a competitive position in this AFC playoff race going forward.
What's another interesting game here? I don't want to hit the Monday nighters, of course. I mean, Bears Bucs. Mm-hmm. Who you got?
That's an interesting one because I don't think anybody expected Tampa to come out and win Week 1 against Minnesota. That defense looked incredible. Especially that run defense. We've known Tampa's had a great run defense for a while. They weren't quite themselves last year. This looked like the Super Bowl winning Tampa Bay run defense that we saw in 2020 again. They were Vita Vea, Devin White, Levante David were all at the top of their game. And obviously when you're playing Chicago, that's the biggest key. You have to stop the run first. So if Tampa plays like that again up front, I do think Tampa is going to pull this one out.
And then the Bears go on to face the Chiefs and then the Broncos. And then they've got their, the Bears, I don't know what to say about them. Of course, we're giving it time. Of course, we're defending Justin Fields in all of that. But it might just be, which is what I said all offseason, a matter of the expectations being high do no favors for that franchise.
Yeah, it's true. And I think there's still things, when I was looking at the tape of that Week 1 game, and there's still things that Justin Fields needs to improve on and things that I thought he was going to take a jump with that just didn't happen, just as far as getting the ball out on time. Who was it that we had this week that said you can tell a quarterback's confident when you see him when his back foot sticks in the ground and he throws a strike and he delivers that ball with confidence?
Yeah, poise. Not Taylor Lewan. Who said that?
I'm blanking right now.
Was it Taylor?
It might have been Taylor, and that's what we're not seeing from Justin right now. He's dropping way too deep. He's not getting the ball on time. That back foot is not really planting in the ground confidently. And, I think we're going to need to see Luke Getsy try some different things to try to build Justin's confidence and simplify things a little bit for him.
Do you know who doesn't have confidence in me? I don't have confidence that guests are going to pop onto the show when I tweet them about coming on the show. Deshaun, we're hoping I hope it's not a root canal. I really don't. I'm not crossing my fingers for dental trouble for you at all right now. And we'll be back. We're going to come back. We're going to do DFS. I'm going to get the guys you need to have in your daily fantasy lineup after this break. Wrapping it up here at the link. Big thanks to everyone for making it happen. Big thanks to the Eagles for being so awesome and letting us come to the game, letting us show some gratitude to our best FanDuel customers, and for letting us, of course, set up shop and take over every screen, nook and cranny in this huge, amazing VIP lounge that FanDuel has in their partnership with the Eagles. So appreciate both sides so much, and we've had so much fun at training camp, and for that to carry over meaningfully into the season is amazing. Now, before I leave, before we watch all the action on Sunday, I did want to get you guys some amazing values for daily fantasy. It's what I do. I always find the value plays. It's why I never overspend on a quarterback. So I'm going to start this thing with Jared Goff. He's a bargain, 7,300 up against a Seahawks defense that just got diced up by Stafford and Puka. How about Texans running back Dameon Pierce? He's facing a Colts defense that gave up 117 yards to the Jags running back spot last week. And then finally, a bit of a value play, bit of a, shot to the clouds here. Titans receiver Nick Westbrook-Ikhine against the Chargers. Both DeAndre Hopkins and Treylon Burks are banged up right now, and the Chargers just allowed, guys, 466 yards throughout the air. So I like Jared Goff at the quarterback spot, Dameon Pierce up against Indy, and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine up against the Chargers. That's it, guys. I'm going to go hop on a flight. Am I going to stop at Wawa on my way out? Probably. I want that turkey panini that Marissa McBride taught me how to order. And then we'll see you guys Monday back in sunny, beautiful LA. Enjoy the action. Be safe, be kind, and